Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of DragonAge, Children of Thedas, the penultimate episode in Kal'Sharok. Before we go around and say hello to all these lovely faces around the screen, please take a moment to check out the links, which the bot is now spamming your way. That includes all of our social links, all of the places you can go to support us, all of the information about our sponsors, and all of the places you can get 10 to 15% discount using our special codes, which can be used and found in the panels below the screen. Alice, good morning, darling. You awake and ready? Yeah! Let's hand over to you. Introduce everyone.
Oh, hi.
We're totally awake.
Okay.
We are totally awake. We got this.
Yeah. Flu and a cat does not allow good sleep patterns, is all I'm saying. So, let's go around and say hi. Let's start with Ambly. Hi, Ambly.
Hi, I always get to start. I'm Ambly. I play the Canary mage person, Huldra. She is strong, independent woman. We need no dwarf, kind of. She's great. Let's see where the journey leads her.
I don't need no dwarf. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Let's hop over to the lovely Jeff. Hi, Jeff. The most awake of us all.
I'm so awake. My name is Jeff Ellis. You can find me at Many-Eyed Monster on Twitter, where I write RPGs and RPG supplements. I'm very excited to be here for this penultimate episode. It's gonna be an interesting one. I didn't realize when I mentioned Kal'Sharok in my character creation that it would become quite so pivotal. But it's going to be interesting, and I'd just like to apologize to the entire party ahead of time.
You're all good. It's fine. And then we're going to hop over to the lovely Wasim. Oh, hi.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm just as sleepy as everyone else, in case you couldn't tell. And I am Harvey Azalea, your Duster Dwarf Rogue grandma of the group. And I am also Nazgul on social media. Find me there and talk to me. Let's be friends on the internet.
Let's be friends. Oh wow, that coffee's gonna hit me in a minute. Then we're gonna hop over to the very lovely Avery. Hi, Avery.
Hello, I'm Avery. I'm so tired. I'm running on nothing. It is 3:44 in the morning or night. It's on that cusp.
So much.
I don't know. The sun doesn't rise during this whole session anymore with daylight savings. I did not see the light of day. Please help us.
And last but certainly not least, hi Scrat. Hi.
Good morning, everyone. I did the too much sleep thing. I slept so deeply. Jeff put a spell on me. He did some witch doctor voodoo. And it put me in so deep a sleep that I panicked and woke myself up right on time for my alarm, thinking I'd miss it. And just as I was about to get up, I then realised it was an hour had passed. I'd fallen back asleep. Nightmare. I'll be playing Guzgeard Duke. Well, you know, we're back under the stone. Feels good, right? It feels good. What can possibly go wrong? We'll just reclaim Kal'Sharok. Head back to Orzammar, reclaim Orzammar. Heroes. 2 episodes. 6 hours. Let's do this.
This is like more your thing anyway. There's no alluvion. There's no like.
Feels good.
Fade. That's the word.
I understand, Darkspawn. You put an axe in it, they die. You put an axe in it, they die. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.
Oh yeah, I'm playing Nara. I didn't say that.
You literally were like, I
didn't realize it all until you did. Who will I play? We don't know. No, notes out of the whole campaign, guys.
But last week, we had a lot of feels. We had a lot of chatting time, a lot of feels. And towards the end, we saw a golem. Huge golem. It didn't seem to be attacking. It didn't even seem to necessarily notice you, and if it did, it didn't seem to care either. It was out on a stroll effectively as it walked through Kal'Sharok. And all through Kal'Sharok, our adventurers found these bodies of Darkspawn. Not lots, not like there had been an attack, but they're almost like a few stragglers were around, and there were no dwarven bodies at all. So, and as they sort of investigated these bodies, they're not too sure what it was, but there was something not quite right about these bodies. And we're gonna jump straight in, as in the distance, amongst these not ruins, just desolate buildings of Kal'Sharok, you see this huge golem walk across the way, and Trouble, he's not barking because he's got something in his mouth, because thank you, Isriver, for gifting a magical item to our wonderful pup, who is now more geared out than any of our teammates.
This
He
dog
hasn't
is
got
more
leather
geared
armor,
out.
okay. In his
This dog
mouth,
is kitted out.
he carries a tooth. A big tooth. Sort of like at the corner, he looks quite happy with himself. And there's sort of some leather that hangs from it as it's just bound. Almost maybe it was a necklace once. You're not too sure. But he seems pretty pleased with himself for finding it.
What are you? What is this? Where did you get this? Did you pick this up around here?
He looks so happy with himself right now.
Oh.
He's sat to attention. You can see that slobber like running over.
Okay.
Oh,
All
that
right.
thing looks good on him. Harvey takes out the big gold cap tooth that she
Matching.
stole from that manor, and she puts it on her neck. She's like, yeah,
best
we're a
thing
good
is-
couple.
I rolled it at random. It was the tooth. I was like, they're matching. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Hardback looks at Harvey. He's like, "Did you give him that? Did you give him the tooth?"
No, I did not. I got
Hmm.
my own special tooth.
Now this is smaller than the tooth Harvey wears, and it seems to be a lot slimmer as
Mhm.
well. But it's longer. Almost.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you hold on to that, but don't go turning into anything or getting poisoned or whatever. I don't know. I don't trust anything in this place.
Does it look like Trouble could wear it?
Oh yeah, there's like this leather around it. It looks like
yeah.
someone has worn it.
Yeah.
But
Oh, can I go forward and like take it from him and like unwrap it and put it around?
yeah, you can easily sort of, you probably have to tie it almost in a line over the back of his neck, like so the tooth lays flat because of the curve and how big it is. But he can wear it. And for context, for everyone, Isriver, thank you. You just gave the dog Fenharal's tooth.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Wait, what? What's that?
It's
That
the-
big wolf
the
that we
wolf,
saw.
the giant wolf.
In
Oh.
Oh.
Whoa. And he's got this deadly weapon. That's the most
Oh my
badass
God.
dog collar I've ever seen.
And that's what it
One
looks
hell
like.
of a
It
dog.
looks like, you know, in like an arch across, it's almost like a dog collar.
Oh my god. My hero.
The
And
hero we need, but we do not deserve.
he barks happily as it is secured around his neck, and he sort of sits proudly. And you see this golem slowly start to disappear out of sight. It's walking sideways to you, down not a tunnel, but what you feel may once have been more of like an alleyway sort of area. There's some big stone archways.
And Harbeck was the only one who heard the voice at the end of the last episode.
The rest of you heard whispers.
Mhm.
Only Harbeck heard the actual voice.
Mm. I watched the golem. Refresh my memory. Do we think it's heading towards where Terrail is?
You get that feeling. Either way, it's going in a direction you haven't been. Yeah, it's
Right.
not like it's coming towards you or anything like that.
Okay. That thing looks like whatever took Terrail. We should probably follow it. It's a better lead than we have at the moment anyway.
Maybe it's maybe put Trail somewhere and left him. I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
I'm just saying I want to fight Trail. I don't want to have to fight that.
Look,
No, we can.
you all know that I hear things
Oh,
from the cube. We've all talked about it now.
You're being alarmingly casual about it, but yes.
Well, that's because this next part's less casual. It just recently mentioned a sacrifice.
that's a bad sign.
So I would like to find Terrail immediately, more than I did before. So I say we follow this golem and see where it's heading.
Well, can Trouble sniff him out? See if they're going the right
I
direction?
mean, Trouble's been doing a bit of it. How about it, boy? Do you have any idea where to go from here?
You can see that Trouble, as soon as you say that, his nose is to the ground and he's sort of snuffling around. And he starts heading in the direction that the golem goes.
See? Exactly. Great minds think alike. All right, let's go.
We'll just stay
Sure.
quiet and far enough behind that they won't notice, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll be in the back lines to protect you all.
Good move.
For protection.
And you can keep a fair distance back. This golem was quite far forwards. It wasn't too close to you. And you can start to follow it and walk through Kal'Sharok. And you see a lot of rundown buildings that were once impressive. And it's not like they're damaged or anything like that. You can see some sort of blackened tarnishing from maybe where there was a fire or something like that. But otherwise, they're pretty intact. This doesn't look like a war zone. This doesn't look like something that's been under siege here. And you walk for a bit and keeping this golem at a distance, but you can still see it. Trouble sort of pacing that little bit further ahead, every now and then stopping, pausing, checking you're still there. And then he continues, still pretty proud about his new collar. And as you progress, you notice along the ground, coming from the rock in particular, more and more of this red lyrium. It's, as you get deeper into this city, it looks like it's been growing up the walls. So some of these buildings have huge shards going up the side of these buildings, and Trouble sort of doesn't go near them. You watch him visibly sort of do a curve around some of them as he sort of wrinkles his nose and won't go near them.
We've already hit 10 retweets, Alice.
Oh, okay. Let me go and have a look.
Throw that in as a side. Here you go. Chuck that in your narrative.
Is 1, Harbeck 2, Nara 3, Harvey 4, Huldra 5. Let's have a look. 3. Good. Yes. Could Nara please roll me a 1d100? 82. That's a high one. Oh, okay.
Boy.
As you're walking, Nara, you notice the floor itself, as much as it starts off very dwarven, that very just slabs of stone. No decoration or anything like that in general. But you do see where it's like a mosaic starts to bleed into the floor itself. It's like you can literally see the elven and the dwarven coming together and meeting across it, and on the floor, you see a very small, sort of hand-stitched ragdoll, which is very childlike. In fact, you probably had one when you were younger. It wasn't as well made as the one that your father probably would have made you. Him being so skilled at that sort of thing. But you can see like it's covered in dirt where it's been stepped on, but this is an elven sort of doll. It fits in the palm of your hand. This is tiny. This was for someone small.
Yeah, I think she just kind of picks it up and turns it over in her hand. Kind of judging it a little bit. I think she'll recognize like that it's an elven kind of thing. She'll hold it up and to Ollie and it's like, did you ever have something like this when you were young?
She sort of reaches out and takes it and looks at it and says, I think I did, or at least that's what my mum wanted me to play with. Like she
Oh.
Alice! Alice, what is she doing?
She'll be back.
She'll always come.
Sure will.
sort of looking at it like over.
Alice,
Alice, you froze for a bit. What did you just say?
The thing is, I can hear all of you, so I can hear. Oh no! And I'm like, yeah.
Okay,
I can hear you all. And she's holding it out, and it's like, this is something my mum probably would have wanted me to play with. And she's sort of just looking it over and hands it back to you. Do you think Terrell would like it?
She kind of shrugs, like, I mean, we'll find out when we find him. And I'll put it, I'll tuck it in my little sewing kit, so it's got its little arms out. It's like this. So it's got its little head peeking out. So.
And you can. I'm sorry, my cat. If you hear a bang, that's because my cat is being an idiot. Like, what are you doing? And I'm sorry, she's hanging off the windowsill with her arms in the air. She's not doing anything. And you can continue to walk, and as you do, more and more of this red lyrium appears. You can see it sort of growing. You can see that sort of red energy sort of pulsing around it, like with a heat wave that you see in the air where it distorts. You see that sort of surrounding these big red shards. Could anyone who is really looking around at everything, could you make me a perception check, please?
Me too.
Would hearing count for it?
No, probably not actually.
Ooh, 19.
What is it with you and your perception rolls?
Your
Emily?
dice are on fire.
Wow.
Beautiful.
So actually, Aldra sees this over
Over the
you're
rogues.
looking around, and you're used to lyrium. You're not used to this lyrium. You don't really know what it is, but you know it's not good. You're getting a sense off of it where it almost repulses you, and you can hear whispers sort of muttering within these shards. And as you take a step closer, you feel your foot press on something squishy, not hard, because you sort of, as you feel it, you take a step back. You don't fully put your weight on it. You see an outstretched dwarven hand, and you realize this lyrium has grown from this dwarf. And as you look at the base of all of these shards, this isn't growing from the rock or from the buildings at all. This is being grown from dwarves.
Nora?
Yes.
I noticed something, that delirium here does not grow from the rocks or mountain. It grows from dwarven bodies.
What? And I'll look around. And
Yeah,
do
I
see
pointed
anyone
out.
behind us? Yeah. Nara, seeing this, visibly pales a bit. I'm just like, well, that explains why there aren't any corpses that before. And I think she looks around and sees more.
Yeah, I am concerned for Alia.
Yeah, you see her like when she look back at Alia, figure something out.
We
Alia's
will.
not listening, not. She's looking around herself. She can't hear this conversation.
I think.
Got to be something we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can see there's like Nara's expression is visibly darkened a lot.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of looking up at she's been focused on Alia as she's saying this. And you can see that she's got the grip on her bow is like white knuckle.
Ah.
It's like, right
Well-
now we have to find Terrail, but knowing this now, afterwards, can we make sure that we find something for her, please?
I will keep my eyes out. What is it called? What's the expression here I'm looking for?
Keep my eye open.
Keep a lookout.
Yeah.
Keep a lookout. I will look around and find a solution. Don't worry. Simple.
Thank you, Roger. And I think she'll walk forward again, and she's gonna stand next to Alia and like walk with her. I'm guessing Alia's still helping Ariana.
Yeah, Alia's sort of got Ariana not draped over her shoulders. Ariana is walking, but it's more like she's assisting. Ariana's, as much as she's walking fine, you could tell she's that slight curve in where she's still healing on her side. And you can see that Trouble continues to sniff around, and he gets closer and closer to this lyrium. He's whining a little bit at it, but he barks back towards you and sort of heads back towards Harbeck, sort of bounds about a little bit and then heads back to this lyrium, where you can see this dwarf who is laying on the ground. He's not like the other dwarves. He's moving. If anything, he's trying to crawl away, but you see these shards that have covered half his face, half his body as it's growing out of him.
Harbeck kind of stands at a distance. He says, "Are you there?"
You just help me, please.
What happened to you?
And he looks in utter confusion. He's like, I can hear it. It's all I can hear. It's deafening.
This is reminding me a lot of my dream, guys, in that Fade place.
How so?
Everything covered in lyrium, and then a darkspawn attacked me.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a premonition or anything, I'm just saying this is a lot like...
Surprise!
Darkspawn.
I mean, in that case, the darkspawn was actually Nara, so...
Well, I walk up to the dwarf and I say, what you're hearing? Laughter? Far away?
Looks up at you and you suddenly realize his eyes are ablaze with red, that same energy sort of fizzling around as you see this red lyrium. You see it almost sort of where it's covered half of his face with these shards have come out. He's like, I can't see you.
We're here.
Whispers. I hear whispers, and I can't work out what it's saying.
What happened to you? Who did this?
I don't remember. And he seems very stressed out by the fact that you can see he's really like pushing his brow together. He's trying to remember. It consumes you. They're growing it.
Where? Here?
Yes. Again, you're getting this he's very confused. You can tell that he's very, very weak. If anything, you're quite shocked he's still moving.
Harbeck is gonna kneel down, and he puts a hand on his shoulder and he says, "Who's they?"
And again, you see him like really squint and concentrate. A mage. And he stops crawling, and he's just laying here at your feet. You think even just getting those words out and really thinking has just taken that last bit of energy from him.
Mm-hmm.
But he reach out and grabs like the front of your boot.
Mm-hmm.
They had a boy. An elf. I don't know why it's only been on dwarves. They've only been using dwarves. And he you can see him try and like look around, and you realize for a moment how many dwarven bodies are around you. The reason you haven't seen bodies is because they've been there. They've been surrounding you the entire time. They're just basically the soil for red lyrium.
Harbeck just kneels down like just a full like sitting kneel, basically, sitting on his knees, and he pulls this dwarf kind of into his lap and just holds him. He says, "We're gonna find the boy, and we're gonna find who did this, and we're gonna put a stop to it."
And as much as it's very weak, you do hear a sob, but there's not much energy in it, and you feel him grip your sleeve. And as you say these words, you feel that grip loosen and that handful.
Be careful, Kal'Sharok. We don't want to be pulling shards of red out of you, too.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And Harbeck is going to untie the Grey Warden sleeve from his wrist, and he ties it around the other dwarf, the dead dwarf's wrist.
He is collecting like dead
No,
people.
he's not taking it from him. He's taking the one he has and gives it to the.
Okay, I thought you just had a
My
little collection on your arm.
Alright, did I get this?
No, he
I
ties
go
it around.
looting again.
How much money does this guy have on it?
He ties it around this dwarf's wrist, and then he just kind of closes his eyes. He says, "Well, I reckon these bastards have taken just about everything from us. They're not going to get to Rail." And he stands up He slings his shield down into his other hand and takes his mace in his right hand. He says, "All right, Trouble. Find Terrail."
And this dog, you can see, has come and sort of perched itself next to you. And as much as he does spring into action, you see there's less energy in it. Not from lack of energy, from seeing what has just happened. And he sort of starts moving again. You see this this golem stride forward, and again Trouble follows it, keeping his distance. But you see almost like this tunnel carved into the rock itself. And this golem, it's big. This golem fits in, even if it's just part way through. But he disappears into this tunnel, and you can guess probably just to another part of the city. This is a walkway in between, and it is very dark in this tunnel. This doesn't give you an ominous feeling, really, because you're, well, maybe apart from Huldra, the rest of you are probably used to this sort of darkness. As it walks into, you almost get a faint glow off of it, like a white bluish light seems to run through the cracks in the rock on this golem, almost like veins. So you get that slight glow of everything around you, and you do see torches, unlit, but on the side of this tunnel. Effectively, it is still well made, as much as it like dug out of the rock. You guess it was more for work purposes than something maybe actual civilians would have had to walk through. But either way, it is pretty sturdy. And can you all make a perception check for me, please? Nara, you can use your hearing for this. That now is not a comfortable feeling for you.
Whoa!
Okay, 23. Nara is like really on it.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Your
Huldra,
third
like
eye
Nara.
opens.
The best thing is,
Jeez,
every
that's
time it
funny.
comes to an attack, Huldra just rolls really
Yeah,
hard. But if it's perception.
I'm just gonna have a little flag. Go, guys! You can do it!
So, those who rolled, so Guzgid, Harbeck, and Harvey, as you walk through, you hear Trouble whine a little bit. It's too dark to see the floor. You can just see this image of this golem it's sort of like casting that really dull light across the walls as it walks. And beneath your feet, you feel a sort of soft ground. And Nara and Huldra,
Why did I roll good?
you hear it. You hear like a squelch. You hear like a uneven. You feel that unevenness, but as your foot presses on things, it's not like it's very solid.
Are we walking on bodies?
Dark.
Does anybody have I'm not sure if I want to see though.
I wanna bend down and touch the ground and see what I'm gonna touch it.
You
Well,
gotta touch it. You bend down and you touch, and it's a very, very liquidy, very sticky sort of feeling. But you do feel what feels like armor, what feels like flesh.
The smell. Does it smell like?
It smells rank.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna not tell anyone.
Yeah.
No, we're all good.
We're all good. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, I think Nara and Huldra
Everybody.
share like in the
Soft
darkness.
ground's
Nara and
never a
Huldra
good
exchange-
sign.
Yeah. Ugh. In the darkness, Nara and Huldra exchange a look of like,
Yeah.
yeah, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, let's not tell them.
And Huldra, as you would have like put your hand down, you weren't feeling like a full body. This
That's the worst.
was probably bits of.
That's the worst.
Cool.
Oh,
Hellray's like,
wait.
I-
Actually.
Hmm?
I'm gonna look to Ollie. I was like, and Huldra. I was like, do you have any way to get just a little bit of light here? These could be from some kind of animal. There could be something else here as well. If this is some kind of feeding ground.
I can make a spell if you want me to, and I take out the knife. Or if you want to donate.
Do you have to use blood every time? Can you not just like?
I
Ollie,
I
do
don't-
you have anything?
And Alia looks at you and she's like, I mean, I could light one of the torches.
Yeah, we
No,
all
there's-
have torches.
There's torches?
We all have torches.
Speak for yourself. I don't have any torches.
I don't know. How would I have it
No,
in my
they're
bag?
lining the wall. Like I said, they're all lining.
Oh
the
yeah,
wall.
whoops, sorry, yeah. Are they lit? Oh, this one.
No, they're not lit, but you can light them.
But you said it was dark. I assume we didn't see the torches.
Yeah, I forgot about the torches. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about anyone else's character sheet, but my character sheet has 3 items on it. That is clothes, backpack, water. So
Yes, pretty much the same.
Yeah, they don't need torches.
I have my backpack, water skin. I've got 2 daggers, my bow, and I have my leather armor, which has a cross through it.
Laura got her fancy robe thing. She got, I think, a dagger and the cool sword and a water skin.
I haven't heard that magic word tinderbox yet from anyone.
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
flint.
we have rocks. We can take the lyrium, but like,
So if we have a quick way to light it, then put it out. Yes, I just want to make sure that these aren't from some kind of animal.
And Alia, who does?
Thank you, Alia. That's my girl.
You can see Alia waits for the golem just to go round a corner, just to part of the tunnel before she strikes a couple of times, and you feel hear this woof as this torch goes up, and she hands it over to you, Nara.
Alrighty, she's like, this is going to be a bit ghastly, so if you want to look away, look now. And she's gonna hold it to the ground so she can see.
Harvey is keeping an eye around the corner on the golem.
Oh yeah, you can hear it as well. You can hear it continuing to walk, but it doesn't seem to turn around.
Huldra would like to be next to Nara and help her, I guess, investigate.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanna
I
make
mean,
sure that I'm
on the
quite
rolls
marked
you
in it.
already had, you sort of strike up and you sort of almost like swing this torch around you. And there's just body parts, but dark spawn body parts. No dwarves, no nothing. This is all dark spawn. You can see from the colour of the blood on your hand now, Huldra, as you look up, there's black that's sort of running down. I really hope
Yeah.
it's not the hand that you use for your magic.
I'm gonna hand.
I wash myself with my
Yeah, I hand Huldra my water skin.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't have one. Someone get her water skin.
I
I keep forgetting. I don't have anything.
Harbeck
All of my stuff is in Olay.
is already like cleaning Holdra's hand.
well, wait, Huldra is taking out her water skin, cleaning it. Is Harbeck just coming and like, let me help you?
He's just like, oh my god, no. Everybody stop touching things. Oh, we could have just walked across some weird ground. Would have been fine. Now we gotta look at it and know all
Well,
about it.
Yeah,
Horrible.
but maybe we want to know this. I mean, what if Trouble starts to eat something off the ground?
Trouble's not gonna start eating anything. I look at him. Is he eating anything?
He's putting his nose at this, like.
Yeah.
He is-
See, yeah.
He's got like a head in his mouth.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey!
no, drop it.
And
I wash myself again, Alice.
yeah. Yeah.
Twice.
Huldra and Harbeck, you can see both sort of trying to rinse off Huldra's hand because this is like your hand is caked in it. And
But I didn't. Did I dig?
You had a good old feel.
Oh, okay. It was more like a poke and a pat, but okay.
A poke and a pat. Either way, you squelched and you slapped it. It's basically that's effectively what happened. And you can see that like it's only the blood that's on you. You haven't got anything else. It's almost just exactly where your hands touch the surface. And as you sort of cast this torch over, there is no complete body here.
Do they look like they've been torn? Like, do they look like they've been cut or pulled apart, or?
It looks to be a bit of both.
Okay.
You can see the further you walk, the more accurate these limbs have been removed. This looks like a clear blade. It's not been pulled off.
Okay, well.
Quick
This
question.
is a pretty. Oh, sorry, you go.
While we're on Corpse Mountain, I still have this friggin' cube on me, right?
Yeah.
It's in some bag in my stuff. Okay. I just want to make sure. Just trying to.
Yeah,
remember
it's still
where
there.
we were.
It's not really saying anything.
That's good.
It
That's
is.
nice.
You can hear that murmur, but then
Mm,
you've always heard that murmur.
mm,
That's sort of what tells you it's
that's
there,
good.
rather than anything else. The voice
Okay.
itself has actually gone silent.
It's embarrassed. We
Yeah.
found its corpse room.
I can't believe you came here. It's such a
Oh, I can't believe you went in the corpse room. Oh, darn. I don't know how those got there.
Yeah, is this ground like wet and dank enough for me to just use it to snuff the torch out?
Oh yeah, like you
Yeah.
can probably
I'll do
just
that.
drop it, maybe
Yeah.
like step on it a couple of times,
Yeah, I'll do that.
put this torch out, and you can still see that faint glow around the corner.
Sorry for making us lose some time, but
No,
I
that's
just kind of
fine.
look at Holger and the hand that she's just washed like that. If that could have been bad.
Yeah, that could have been real bad.
Yeah, especially since I have a little bit of wounds on my arm, so.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and you really went to town on that stuff. So
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
yeah, you just covered
I
yourself in it.
Like I just tried to like pat it, and then suddenly my entire
Yeah.
skin there.
Are you capable of using magic without blood, or is it something that you have to use?
As far as I know, I have to use blood. Like in my younger age, I tried. Never really clicked.
All right, well, let's have this conversation while we look for
I
Terrell.
think I seem to be walking. Yeah, that's sorry. Let's
So are
make
you
it-
continuing walking down this tunnel?
Yeah.
Yeah, you start to walk down this tunnel. You can still hear it beneath your feet, but it's not. If anything actually thins out, there's less of it the more you walk. And you can see an entrance to where the end of this tunnel, or an exit rather, as this golem leaves and continues to walk. And ahead of you, it almost like this opening. This opening is almost like it's as if there was like a clearing, and you can't see what's like that way or that way because there's two huge buildings like in this rock. But you guess this was maybe a square at one point. You see bits of darkspawn like armor on the ground. You can see where it looks like they've been stripped of their armor and things have just been cast aside. And you also see 3 dwarves tied up. So almost like not posts, but it looks like maybe like they've been tied to random things that have been found around, like a barrel or just the rock itself.
Harbeck is gonna crouch down and get Trouble's attention, make sure he doesn't follow into the room.
You can
And,
grab him straight away.
Yeah, I just grab his harness and pull him back and look around, and then I signal for Nara to come forward.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, you see them?
Yes, I kind of peer up and look at them.
Do they look like? Do they? Can we tell if they have any like red lyrium growing out of them?
If you get a little bit closer, I will allow if like a rogue wants to stealth a bit closer or whatever, that's fine. Nara, if you can get a little bit closer to get a better look, and you can see these 3 dwarves tied up. 2 of them aren't even conscious. One of them is slumped down, the other's head hanging. But your keen ears do hear a whimpering from the other dwarf, who is very much awake. You see her armor and her face. This looks like a member of the Legion of the Dead. And you recognize that armor, but she is caked in darkspawn blood. Absolutely caked in it. And if you would like to roll a perception check for me, please. Not hearing.
Not hearing. 14.
On a 14, you notice most of the blood, most of this darkspawn blood, is around her mouth. And from off to the side, from where you couldn't see behind the rock, you see another dwarf walking forwards to them, kneeling down and brushing the hair from this dwarf's face. And she looks physically repulsed by this person, and she sort of tries to back up, even though there's nowhere to back up to. If you would like to make a hearing perception check, however, I will need you to get closer.
Okay. I'm going to look back at Harbeck. And it's like, one of them's conscious, I can see. They're covered in darkspawn, but if you can just watch my back, I can get a bit closer and see what's happening.
He is going to draw his longbow, and then he's going to gesture for Harvey to come up and watch her with him.
Yeah. So Nara's gonna sneak ahead a little bit. She's got her bow out, she's got it ready just in case.
They seem pretty distracted, so you could probably sneak up, but I will need you to make a perception check using.
Perception check. 20.
Yeah. On a 20, you can get close enough and press yourself up against the rock of one of these sides, and you can hear everything. This dwarf, first of all, the one that approaches the one that's tied up, this seems to be a male dwarf, and he's humming. He's humming a tune you remember just being sung to you as a child. It's a standard, almost lullaby for a child. And he smiles down at this dwarf, and you get a closer look at his eyes, and they're very white and almost like speckly. And you see there is no sense in this dwarf anymore. Something is not right with this dwarf. And you just hear him say shh, 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 as he pushes the hair again out of this dwarven female's face. The darkspawn need a carer, a mother. And you can see her just like trying to back up, and she is sobbing. And he doesn't seem bothered by this at all. If anything, he stands again and starts to hum.
Does he walk off, or?
He walks back around the corner, and on a 20, you can definitely hear something from around that corner moving.
Kind of something big.
A 20, yes.
I'm gonna. Oh god, the curious part of me wants to just kind of peek around that corner. You shaking your head spurs me on. How far away is this corner?
You'd
Like, how
probably only
far?
have to walk a little bit further. They are more in the clearing than actual,
Okay.
closer to you.
I'd like to hug the wall and just get close enough just to see, even just a hint. If I can't see anything by the time I kind of leave this tunnel, I'm not going out any further. I'm not going anywhere near the open.
Yeah, you don't have to go towards the open. You can sort of press yourself up against the rock. And the rest of you see Nara starting to get that little bit closer as the other dwarf moves around the side. And Nara, you watch this other dwarf move. You follow the trail he takes, and you can sort of, with yourself still pressed so you don't get seen or anything, you can effectively peer around this corner. And before you see a thing you would have known or heard of
Oh, the music.
as nightmares as a child. This huge creature towering almost up to the ceiling, this creature of flesh, just mass, these two huge tentacle-like arms that reach across the ground, and that face, this grotesque face, this long jaw, these huge sort of grey jowls, and these teeth, but these huge folds of just skin as it sits back into the rock, moving here and there, not really paying attention to anything other than the dwarf that has approached it. And he's still humming, almost looking at it adoringly.
I think seeing this, like, you see Nara, like, anyone watching, you see Nara take, like, almost, like, stagger backwards, but she manages to stop herself. And she takes a breath, and then she comes back. Kind of keeping an eye on it for as long as she can to make sure that they haven't hurt her.
Yeah, they haven't heard you.
And I go over to Harbeck, and you can see Nara is very pale and very shaken.
What is it?
Would I know what this thing is called? Like,
You have heard stories about something like this.
Yeah.
You know this is a brood mother.
I think she just manages to stammer out, like, brood mother around the corner.
Rude. And Harbeck's eyes just kind of like widen.
I thought there were only something to scare people. And she gestures to the dwarf that's on the ground that's conscious. Like, one of them is conscious, but I don't think they're in much of a state to do anything. The other dwarf isn't. He's not a dwarf. I don't know what's happened, but he said that the Darkspawn need a mother, as they were talking to him, or talking to her. I don't know.
All right,
What do we
kid,
do?
look at me. And he takes both of her shoulders and says, "Just another creature, just another Darkspawn. We're gonna put as many arrows in it as we can, all right?"
Wait, you guys are planning on attacking that thing?
That thing is huge.
Yep, if we have to, but we might not have to. Harvey, Nara, I want both of you on that entrance, keeping an eye out for that dwarf. Huldra, Gersgeared, you two are gonna come with me. We're gonna try and get as much info out of these dwarves as we can. Hopefully get them out of here. And then we're gonna regroup, center of the room, move on after that golem. Everybody understand?
Guskit's been remaining quiet for all of this. He understands sneaky shit's been going on, so he's been trying to stay as still as possible, but holding his axe out. And when you say all
He's
of
just
that,
standing there holding his breath.
You hasn't breathed this whole time.
Yeah, Halter, you may have never heard of one of these, but the rest of the dwarves, this is something that you would have been told about maybe when you were younger, almost like a, don't go into the deep roads because this will happen, or it's almost like it's basically a horror that you would have been told when you were younger, something that a dwarf, a female dwarf in particular, can be turned into.
Well, that's not fair.
That's sexism right there.
I remember playing this part in Origins and just like.
I actually just
So gross.
googled the creature to see what it looks like.
It's awful.
It's awful.
that was a
Why?
mistake. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Harbeck looks at Harvey and Nari and says, "Alright, you two are up. I want you on that doorway before any of us move into the chamber, okay?"
Just 1 second, and she's just gonna go to Alia and be like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I just have to pull her down and kiss her.
Yeah, and you actually take her by surprise more than anything, but she does very quickly almost drop Ariana. Like, Ariana's fine on her own, but she does very quickly wrap her arms around you and give you like a squeeze and a tight hug, and she's like, and she sort of holds out her hand and touches your face as you sort of withdraw. It's like, we're gonna get through this. Kill it.
Any luck, we won't even over here, but if we have to. And she'll go up to Harvey. I'm ready if you are.
Let's engage scouting mode.
I am going to need you, if you're scouting past, 3 perception. Not stealth. Stealth check, effectively. Because you need to sneak past not just a brood mother and this crazed dwarf, but this other dwarf that is panicking.
So 3 stealth checks?
Yes, please, from both of you.
I'm so nervous. Okay.
Wow. There's 1.
Okay, I'll roll the first one as well. Oh, wow. I do have a reroll if I need to use it, so let me know.
I can reroll these as well.
Yeah, I can
Okay. I will
Another one?
tell you
Yeah.
15 passes.
Okay.
So you can re-roll, the 13 and the 14 if you wish.
Okay. I'm gonna use the reroll that is for my scout as a scout, not the one that I've been gifted. Yes.
Yeah, same. I don't have a gifted one anyway. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm using my actual reroll that I've been gifted. Oh my god!
Ooh.
It's not meant to be, is it?
I think Nara's just she's never been in a situation like this. She's not a fighter.
This is a sight for you, Nara. This is literally you're still quite young, so this story is
gotta have my
fresh
trauma
in your head, and you get past the brood mother. You get past the crazed dwarf, and Harvey, you're just ahead of Nara. But as you walk this huge image, this hulking great creature, You almost catch your breath and you pause for a moment. And this dwarf that is panicking sees you and she's like, help me, help me. And she starts shouting. As this crazed dwarf turns around and sees you.
As soon as this dwarf starts shouting, Harbeck shoots them with an arrow.
What the, which one, sorry?
The tied up one that's shouting.
Okay. Yeah, roll for me, please.
Oops. 1 second. Oh, gosh darn it. There we go. Oof.
You fire, and she's not moving or anything, and you strike her. Are you doing this to kill, or are you doing this just to...
Yeah, to kill her, essentially.
You strike her, and she looks at you with terrified eyes as you see the life of it draw away and her head drops down. This crazed dwarf looks at you, not happy, and looks at Nara and Harvey. Welcome. I do need you all to roll initiative.
Great. He's
My
great.
bee, my bad.
This is fine.
Okay, it's 3d6 plus dex.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna roll and then I'm gonna quickly run to the bathroom. Oh wow, I suck.
It's a bit exciting.
Yeah.
That's an
I
awful
wanna
roll from me
cry.
as well. Let's hope I'm saving my good rolls for the combat.
Is that an awful roll for you?
12. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like just above my average.
Right, Hildy, I need that pen again.
If I roll a 12,
just-
I'm like, yeah,
I'm
I
just
did good today.
I'm doing it.
used to using strength, which means I can just +4 everything. Like,
So,
I don't understand.
Harvey. Sorry, I'm just gonna write this down.
at my last level as well, I took might as a focus. So, like, whenever I undertake actions which involve might, I can now add +6 instead.
Could Harbeck and Holdra please both roll just to see which one of you goes first, as you both got
What do you got in Dex? You have plus
Oh, yeah.
3, so let's just go. You go first because you have +3. I have +1.
I would love for you to go first because I'm actually gonna run to the restroom real quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, let's have a potty break, everyone.
It's too scary.
Oh,
So
dearie.
we'll probably wait briefly as well. So then we've got. Let's have a look. Is good. And Avery again. We've got Nara at the end. And she notes out. Let's have a look. And you are greeted with this mass. Basically, is this thing. It doesn't roar. It doesn't yell, it doesn't do anything to the effect of, it doesn't make a sound, it just makes a horrific sound. It's almost like a squelch as it moves.
Oh, I just googled it too.
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to Google it.
Dear Lord.
Oh, you're muted.
Look at that fine top Avery's wearing. Did you all see it in the corner there? Look at it. Isn't it beautiful?
We will wait for Jeff for this as well, just because.
Oh boy.
And music is just not being my friend today. I can't find the thing that.
I
There we-
hate this.
There we go.
Lullaby.
I'm upset.
Absolutely hate
I
this
am not
lullaby.
happy.
I'm not happy. Alice.
I know. Let's have a look. Sorry, music and Roll20 for me today is just being bad. There we go. Harvey, you go first as you see this huge creature sort of turn and leap towards you, and you see it very focused on Nara.
Okay.
Oh no! I don't like that.
Okay, well, we're just gonna try shooting it, man. Shooting it right in its ugly face.
Roll for me.
It'd be Dex, right? Yeah.
Yes.
18.
18. Yeah.
Is that 6 stunt points? Or
2 stunt points.
That is 6 stunt points.
Oh, okay. No, it's
Is it
2
not?
because we decided the
2,
last die is
yes.
the dragon dice. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes, it's dragon dice.
Oh, right. Okay, so 2 stunt points. Let me look real quick what I can do. I have the list right here. Ooh, okay. Ooh, no, I need 3. Dang it. I will do... Is it possible to knock this giant thing prone?
No.
Okay, then. We'll do oh, where did it go? A mighty blow. Just an extra
Oh yeah.
dice.
I also realized I haven't rolled for it either.
Ooh, 19 damage. Ooh,
Yes.
that was a sexy roll. 3 6s.
Yeah. As you do this, it sort of, you fire this arrow and it is distracted from Nara briefly as it sort of reels upwards, and then you hear that screech, that horrible, almost like that disgusting squelching sound, and you see these 2 tentacles raise up as you see this arrow sink into it, and this crazed dwarf is like, not the mother, like just started freaking out basically. He doesn't seem to be running to attack you. He's more concerned about the state of this one. Huldra, it is your turn.
Yes. So where is it? I would like to enter enter blood magic mode, as it called. So I'm gonna take out my little dagger and find another good spot to make a little cut and like rub the blood in by my hands, and I'm gonna take a little bit of damage, 3 damage, and I will cast gosh, I lost it. No. It's around here somewhere. No.
Which one are you looking for?
It's heroic defense. All right. So my allies within 30 yards are protected by this.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives the subject gains a +5 bonus to defense and a +2 to armor rating for a number of rounds equal to your magic score.
Awesome. What's your magic score?
What?
My magic score. I guess it's not my mana, so it's.
It'll be
What?
whatever the plus is for your magic.
Yeah.
Stat.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, that's 3.
Okay,
But
so for 3 rounds, all of you have these additions.
That's a boon.
But-
so it's
but-
+5 defense and +2 armor.
Yes, and I will also spend 4 extra mana to add 1 extra round, so 4 rounds.
Okay, awesome. I'm just gonna write that
So
down.
everyone remember that,
Mm.
because
Oh,
I will not remind you.
Goodbye.
I
Oh no, we lost the scene.
Oh no, the scene.
Do I need to roll anything for this
The scene
spell?
doesn't move out. I don't think you do need to roll for that. I think that's just that's a cast one.
Okay.
I think that's all good. But now we are down to Harbeck's turn. Harbeck, you've just fired this arrow and this dwarf has gone limp, and then you've seen this huge creature sort of wail and screech as Harvey fires an arrow towards it. And you suddenly feel very, defensive and enlightened.
Gross. And grossed out. Harbeck, am I within range of, melee range to walk up to this brood mother?
Not right now, but it won't take you. You get there very quickly.
Mm. Can I reach the dwarf? The possessed
Yeah,
dwarf?
you can reach the dwarf first. The dwarf is almost, if anything, he's backing up. He's not even looking at you all. He's just, panicking.
Mm-hmm. Are they in the same direction? Like if I moved to the dwarf first, will
if you move closer to the dwarf, you'll be moving closer to the brood.
Okay, cool. So I heft up my shield and my maul, and I dash across this room to the dwarf. And I'm going to... I'm going to take the defense action to give me +2 to my defense, so a total of +7.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm essentially, I kind of want to slide up to him with my shield raised, and just sort of keep an eye on him and keep him within my melee range for now.
Yeah, you can hold that. And then again, Guzgid, you would have heard of this creature. It is your turn. As you see this, you see Harbeck ready himself. You see, in true Harvey style, she's already started firing at it.
Yep. All right. Well, not the brood mother, the little
Dwarf.
I hesitate to call him a dwarf. Where are they?
They're sort of, if anything, closest to Harbeck as they're backing up. So again, in the same direction as the brood mother, but he's stepping away from it.
Stepping away from the brood mother.
He's panicking that this brood mother is being attacked. It's like he's almost not seeing the rest of
Yeah, I don't want him to go and get reinforcements or anything like that. Is he within 3 yards of me?
Not. Well, whereabouts were you? You were hanging back, weren't you?
I was very ready for the fight, but yeah, I was trying to be quiet. I realized we were trying to sneak. I mean, I know Nara didn't actually sneak, but...
You're not quite 3 yards.
I tried.
But
Get at me, I'm 18.
but within 6 yards. So I'll run up 6 yards, and I'm gonna swing at the little guy. And what I'm gonna try and do is let's see how the swing goes, I guess. Yeah.
It hasn't come through for me yet.
14.
14. Yeah, you hit him.
Doubles.
Doubles as well. That's 3 stun points. The first thing I'm gonna do, which I get as a 2-handed journeyman for free, is I'm gonna move him 2 yards into the center of the group so we can sort of gang up on him and kill him nice and quick. You know, good old Legionnaire tactics.
Yeah, you can do that.
Then... I'd like to use 2 stun points to knock them prone. So everyone gets +1 on the attack against them. They cannot run and must use the move action to stand up, so they can't go anywhere.
How are you knocking it prone? Because this is big.
The little guy?
Oh, the little guy. I was gonna say.
Yeah, the little guy.
You can knock him.
Yeah, no. Very focused on the little guy. I want this little fight to be a private thing. I don't want him running off and getting all his friends.
Yeah, no, you can.
So I'm gonna hook my axe around the back of his head and throw him to the floor in the center of all of us. And I'll use my last stunt point because I'm a journeyman two-handed person. I can use Mighty Blow for only 1 stunt point, so I'll add an extra d6 of damage to it.
Go for it. This guy. He is looking pretty bad. He wasn't in the best shape when you found him. You can tell most of his energy is the fact that he's come, but because he's crazy, that is what is driving him. And he hasn't even got a weapon himself. You can see sort of where he probably used a knife or something at some point, but it's on the floor. It's not a very good knife. And you do knock him prone. And he screams at you, almost inaudibly. I can't even say the word. Inaudibly. Yeah. Nara, it is your turn. Nassim. Harvey has just distracted this brute mother's gaze from you.
Okay. Does it seem to be turning to look at her instead?
It's more looking towards Harvey now.
Okay, it's just like I sort of got this thing is centered on me. It's just like a homing missile or some shit. I'm gonna dart away for a bit. I'm gonna nope out, and I'm gonna hide behind something to get my back stabbed.
Yeah, there are lots of rocks around. There's fallen boulders. You can easily.
Sweet. Yeah, just gonna roll stealth for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, now I roll a good stealth. Okay, no stunt points on that one, unfortunately, because that's not an attack. And I would like to just kind of peek up from this rock and fire an arrow.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So it's 13 to hit. Does that hit?
That does
Brood
it.
Mother? Alrighty,
Does
awesome. And I got 2 stunt points. I'm going to use that to use my new Journeyman Scout technique, and I'm going to seize the initiative. So next round, I'm top of the initiative, and I'm that way now. I am always top of the initiative now until someone else seizes the initiative.
Okay, that's just.
So I might get to go before a few of, go again before a few of you. And I'll roll damage for that. So it's 2d6 plus 4. Oh, 8 damage.
This brood mother starts to shift. And it starts to it doesn't move towards you, but it raises up these 2 huge tentacles and lashes out. This takes it out. This is a long distance. These are huge. One of them slaps downwards towards Harbeck. Oh. I've pressed the wrong thing. 20 hit you.
I don't think it does with Holdra's thing and my defensive stance.
Yeah. How'd you dodge out of the way of this then? As this huge mass, as this tentacle of just flesh comes crashing down towards you.
I imagine he catches the brunt of it with the shield and just sort of guides the momentum away from his body.
Yeah, you do that. And then the next one, it sort of lashes out towards Guzgird. It's the next closest. 16?
Yeah, 16 hits.
But with the plus?
With Holdra's stuff on?
How much was the plus, sorry?
5.
5.
Plus 5.
It's a match.
Hits. On an 8, this huge tentacle comes down. You see Harbeck sort of push it aside, but you don't see the one that is coming down the other side of you, and it crashes into you. It's almost like it's trying to sweep you off your feet, and you feel this force strike you as you sort of get sent further towards it.
Oh, that's not very nice.
It is Trouble's turn. As Trouble is barking madly at this creature and runs forward. He does not hit. He sort of bounds forward, seeing this huge tentacle hit you, Harbeck. He starts barking madly and runs towards your side as he tries to launch himself at it, but he misses as it sort of sweeps off of your shield. So technically it's Nara's turn now. And that is one round gone with the additions.
Alrighty, same deal. I'm just gonna dart off to a different rock, hide again.
Mm-hmm.
And, what's wrong? Hide again. So this is stealth. I don't think that's gonna cut it.
Let's have a look. That does not.
Yeah, so I can still make the attack, I just don't get backstab on it, so... Alrighty. I forgot to add the +2 to the attack last time, that's fine. So it's 3d6 plus 3 for the attack. 11 to hit?
That does hit.
Does hit? Okay, and it's just the 1d6 plus 4. Oh, wait, no, it's +5. Sorry, I forgot I have a +1 with the weapon as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be another so 10 damage on that one. It'll be another +1 on the other attack as well.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Alrighty.
Again,
So
it throws back its head, screeching. You actually see the tentacle that just struck Gazgid recoil backwards as you hit it. Harvey, it is your turn.
Yeah, now that he's distracted, I'm also gonna sneak away and try and do a backstab.
Yeah, there are rocks everywhere. This is important. You can definitely do that.
Heck yes. Sneaky sneak.
Yep, that's definite.
Cool. And then it doesn't have to be with the dagger, right? I can shoot it with my crossbow.
No, you can shoot it with your crossbow.
Cool. So I get another 3d6 plus 1. And is it also plus strength? I keep forgetting.
It's plus your dex, I think, isn't it? Am I?
Oh, okay. Then it's 5.
Each weapon's different. It should say in the thing which thing you roll for it. For example, my axe is strength next to it.
Oh, okay then. Never mind. Take it back. It's perception. 12 damage.
Yeah, and again, with this arrow, you and Nara are weaving and bobbing between these rocks, just firing off these arrows into this broodmother, as you see the two dwarves at the front sort of trying to fend off these huge tentacles, both Gazgid and Harbeck. Huldra, whereabouts are you stood as it comes round to your turn?
I guess she would be, like, behind Harbeck and,
Sort of
Gazgid.
far back?
Yeah, like when everything started, she just like bye, backed off. She's a bit squishy. My turn. So I want to use hemorrhage, and you are supposed to roll Constitution against my spell power. The only problem is I don't know what my spell power is, so.
Okay.
Does anyone know where to find it?
It's 10 plus your magic plus your focus if you have a focus.
Yes. So you need to beat 14. Wait, is it plus my magic and my focus?
Yeah, if you have focus and you add an extra 2, so...
Oh, then it's 16.
Well, 23.
Oh my god. Well, you still take half damage.
Yeah. This thing is big. This thing is huge. It's got a low armor class, but it's massive.
Okay, you still take that. 7.
Yeah, describe it for me. How are you attacking?
Okay, so this time Halora doesn't need her dagger, So she just channels like the blood in her hands, and you can see her veins start to illuminate a little bit, and she's like, hiya! And you can see this creature's like starts to like make a little face and almost like bubbly look on the shoulders and chest area.
Yeah, and the rest of you will see this as Holder sort of reaches out and the broodmother's skin starts to bubble, almost like it's moving, like something's moving underneath it, and with a screech again, it contorts. Harbeck, it is your turn.
Alright, so what's going on with the dwarf, the possessed dwarf guy?
He's prone, he's been knocked over, and it's like he's not trying to get up. If anything, he's scrabbling away, or trying to. He's holding his head now, and he's just like yelling, no, no. He's out of it, effectively.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at the brood mother, and then I am going to step backwards over the dwarf so that it's between me and the brood mother, so that I'm essentially facing both of them. And then I'm just gonna whack this dude with my mace.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me find where I put the roll 20 check. Okay, so sharp 3D. Right, is that right? Okay, cool. 16.
Oh yeah, you hit him.
Cool. I think it's 26. I do 8 damage to him.
Yeah, how'd you kill him?
Just a quick, merciful slam to the head.
Yeah, you don't hear a scream, you don't hear anything. You literally put this guy out of his misery very, very quickly.
And then let's take a look if there are minor actions that I want to do real quick. What the heck? Okay, there we go. Activate move. No, that'll be my turn.
Yeah, as you do this, your hammer like comes down onto this dwarf, and there is silence now from there. And you hear this broodmother again raise up these huge tentacles, and sort of she rocks. Gusgid, it is your turn.
Broodmothers rock.
Harbeck here. Broodmothers rock. Like you've just seen Harbeck completely take out this other dwarf.
Now I'm hardy, but I'm awfully slow. Is the broodmother within 6 yards?
Yeah, it's closer now. It's
Hey,
closer.
great. In that case, I'll within 3 yards.
Not 3 yards.
All right. Well, in that case, my minor action will be to move up to it. My major action will be to make an all-out attack.
Go for it.
Is that the one that does... Yeah, it does +1 damage, but it means I've got -1 defense now.
You've still got holders on top of that, so technically it's only you would just have 4 on top of that. Are you rolling? Because roll 20 is not.
I haven't done it yet. I'm just about to press the play button. 15. Not my best roll. That hits?
Yeah,
Great.
that hits, yeah.
Stun points again! Yeah! Will lightning attack that. I'll make a second attack. 19.
Yep.
Damn, why couldn't that have been my first roll? Look at all them stun points. So yeah, 2 lots of 3d6 damage. Gusgid's not messing around!
Describe this for me, Gusgid, as you just sort of, like, Harbeck, you sort of have seen, you throw this warhammer down on the dwarf, and Gusgid, tell me what Harbeck and the rest of them see as they look up.
I've got a feeling this is going to be one of them cinematic moments from Dragon Age Origins. As Gusgid runs up and he's going to jump on the layers of belly fat and start climbing it and be using his axe to climb and then just slashing at its arms and heads, and its gross, many-breasted, ugly body and just hacking away at it all.
Yeah, like, you are getting covered and covered in this just black sort of sticky
Yeah.
blood as it screams. Like, it's really screaming now. And you can, the rest of you can see it's writhing. It's almost like it's trying to back away, but it can't, as Guzgid runs up this creature, just hacking at it. And it's a mess, basically, is the only way to describe this. It is the Broodmother's turn, as Guzgid has run.
I think it's important to note the slow-mo can as well, you know.
Yeah. There's a 16 hit, bear in mind you have 4 plus because of Huldra still.
Yeah, it hits. Especially with a -1 to my defense. It would have been a match, now it's a definite beat.
Just a 6, but as you run up towards it, its mouth opens, and this almost like yellow bile starts to erupt from its mouth as it sort of, as you stand there on its chest, it falls onto you, and you feel this burning sensation.
Hook.
Feels like my mana was wasted on Guzgid.
And Harbeck, as
I'm
you
the most
stand
heavily
there,
armored, I'm sorry.
another-
I really tried.
Oh, you're great.
Another tentacle comes swinging down. Does an 18 hit even though you've got Huldra? No, okay. Again, how do you deflect this?
It's sort of the same thing. So I knew that taking this dwarf out of the equation would give Guzgid the chance to engage with the more pressing target. And so Harbeck is not exactly distracted or in awe of Guzgid's attack. It's exactly what he was hoping for. And so he's just ready for the next one, and does kind of the same thing, just redirects its blow away from him and away from trouble.
Well, the next tentacle comes down, as both tentacles come at the same time, on a 14. And let's have a look. This tentacle swings for Trouble as you
Don't hit my dog.
deflect it. And Trouble, as seeing you deflect it, sees the next one coming and makes a huge leap over the top of it as it swings, lands the other side, and snarls at it before trying to sink its teeth
Question:
into itself. Yes.
does my magic also affect Trouble?
I don't know. Did you specifically cast? Is there a range?
There's a range, but there's also all my allies, as long as they are within 30 feet, I believe.
Yeah, I'd say so then.
Yes! Increased defense for Trouble.
Yeah, Trouble sinks his teeth into this tentacle, and
Oh no, I'm gonna have to wash out his mouth.
yeah, he's singing like, "Oh, and don't put that in your mouth. Don't drop it." As he
What are you
sinks
chewing on? What are you chewing on?
really starts to like try and rip at this tentacle, which it does manage to escape considering how big it is, and it almost throws him off. He stands perfectly, like he manages to catch his feet. Nara, it is your turn.
Yeah, well, I think I do what I'm good at, and I run around a lot. I think I run past that dwarf that got like mauled and just kind of looked down at it for a brief moment, like, oh. But before I duck behind a rock and hide again, trying to at least.
Yeah.
How's Guzgid looking? Health-wise.
Oh, you know, I've been worse.
Alrighty. Okay, so I'm gonna roll stealth. 15. Does that succeed?
15, that hits. You're hitting
Oh,
the
no,
group.
no, I'm not hitting.
Oh.
Uh,
Oh, yes.
for
Stealth.
stealth.
Yeah,
Stealth.
no, that's stealth. Yeah, that's fine.
Alrighty. So that means I get a +2 to the attack, which I forgot before, and so it's a 3d6 +5 to the attack itself. Hey, stop points. So 16 to hit.
Yeah, that's definitely a hit.
Alrighty. What can I do? Oops. Wrong search. Combat stun hit them off. Come on. Laptop, please. Alrighty. I'm gonna do a mighty blow and pierce armor
Go for it.
on that one. So I do, because of the back stuff, I do 3d6 plus 5 damage. And its armor rating is halved for the attack. It's a 15.
Awesome.
Just
Yeah.
kinda- I'll step out and I'll be a fair way behind Harbeck and stuff. But I'm there.
Just firing the arrows still.
Firing arrows, probably like framing Guzkid around it. I think Guzkid lifts his arm up and an arrow just slips behind, like underneath the arm.
As I'm slow-mo slashing, there's like arrows coming behind the
Arrows
arrow.
going at
Yeah,
normal
you can
speed.
feel them like whip past your like ears, Guzkid. If anything, you hear that as it sort of fires past. Huldra, it is your turn. Also, everyone, we have 2 rounds left of that additional armor.
Okay, Huldra is out of mana. Cool. So she is basically like,
Oh, quick.
yeah, she used pretty much all her mana to defense and do the damage, and it was only half damage, but you know. So she's gonna look around. What is Ariana doing?
Ariana is not fit for this fight. If anything, Alia has taken her back towards the tunnel side and sort of propped her up against the edge of the wall so that the broodmother can't see them or they're out of reach of the tentacles or anything like that.
Okay, just good to know. She's gonna take out her knife and like this round she's just gonna try to collect blood to like squeeze out a little bit of extra energy. So she's gonna just make 2 like slicing attacks on herself, I guess, and fire something next round. So I take God math 7 damage and 7 mana. Cool. That's my turn.
Awesome, thank you.
You can hear, sorry, you can hear Hulra goes like, ah!
Just and Harbeck, the last thing you see is that this is just after Trouble has sort of clamped his teeth into this thing and landed back beside you. What are you doing?
I'm going to shout to Trouble, "Stay with me, come on!" And I'm going to move in to engage this thing, sort of following Gersgir's path, but not like climbing up it. And I'm going to attack it with my mace. 3d6 plus 3. Oof.
That's a hit.
Nice. Okay. Slash 6. 10 damage.
Yeah, you run into this and you like Trouble immediately is at your side, sort of running alongside with you as you swing, and you take a good chunk out of this. If anything, this is sort of near the base. You can see where more tentacles are. They don't seem to be raising up. If anything, they're keeping this thing grounded. And you swing into one of those, and you see it sort of shudder as you take a chunk out of it. Guzkid, it is your turn.
Well, when you're doing well in the battle, you don't hang back. Let's just keep on attacking.
Yeah, you're covered in this weird, like, ichor right now, and yes, that does hit.
Yes, 5 stun points. We'll make the first one a mighty blow, because that's only 1 SP. Which leaves me 4 left. I've got a feeling there's gonna be another lightning attack in there, which leaves me 1. And then I'd like to have the last thing to be a perception test, just to make sure I'm not missing anything on the battlefield.
Yes.
I've been in rages before, I know it can blind you. So first attack will be 4d6 because of the mighty blow. That's another 15 damage. Then there's my lightning attack, which hits for 16. So there's another 12 damage. That makes another 27 damage this turn. And then I'd like...
Warriors, man.
And then I'd like to have a look around the battlefield and just make sure that everything's cool. There's no one sneaking up on us. But I don't see shit!
We're fine, guys.
As you're hacking at this creature, more and more of this blood and this ichor is sort of covering you so you can't see. How'd you kill this brood mother?
Super slow-mo as I use my axe into its shoulder to hoist myself up, and in one motion I'm sort of like mid-air floating above it, removing my axe for the baseball swing for the head. Slow motion.
Faster, Guskid! It's getting away!
Standing on its body as it falls.
Like normal speed, like.
Then land on the ground and roll away. Always roll away. It looks cooler.
This blade sinks through this brood mother as you tuck and roll effectively further away, and it screams and it yells. And it starts to fall forward. Harbeck, Guzgid, and Trouble need to make effectively a dexterity check.
Oh, looks like I should have been more aware.
That makes it.
Oh boy.
Guzgid. Harbeck, you start running, and you've seen this, and you're just like, nope, you are running out of there. You are taking a leaf out of Nara's book, and you are sprinting away from this thing. And you can see Trouble slightly behind you as he pauses. He does run, and almost at the last minute jumps as this huge thing crashes to the ground. However, Harbeck, Guzgid, this huge, as it falls, you're running, but this tentacle sort of lashes out at the end. And you feel this hit you. Please take 14 damage as you are almost crushed underneath this huge mass of flesh. It doesn't hit your whole body, it's more that it knocks you over and it falls onto your legs. But it is still the creature is screaming on all the way down, but it is dead.
I am assuming that we're dropping out of initiative.
You are out of initiative.
As soon as this thing has hit the ground, Harbeck is already turning around and scrambling towards Guzgid. I assume he's at least sticking out of it.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's only legs. This was he was
okay.
getting out.
Harbeck grabs and says, "Come on, Dukin, let's go. This isn't how we go."
Honestly, with the armor reduction, Guzgid is looking pretty much just fine.
Yeah.
Harbeck's like, "No, I won't let you die like this."
I'm -7 from any damage taken, so this is the first 7 I've taken.
You're scared.
Guzgid, are you alright?
Like this, no.
I'm climbing out from under, I'm really fine, you guys. It's not that bad.
I can imagine that Nara and Harvey are just watching this to the side.
Harbeck, pull harder!
Really, it's just a scratch, honest. I'm just fine.
I imagine he finally just punch.
Yeah. Oh, Guzgid, I was so worried.
But why? I'm just fine.
Oh, you are? But I can see you bleeding a little bit there. If you have any donations, I could need some.
Get that blood off of him.
Oh yeah, oh my god. And Harbeck just takes his water skin and just dumps it over you, Guzgid. No, you gotta, here we go, come on.
I appreciate that. I'm taking my own water skin and I'm rinsing my mouth out and stuff because, blood rage. Lots of blood
Before
going there.
Alice comes back, I just want to point out, look at Hildy. She's so cute. She's popping out her head. So cute.
The stream can only just see her little ears.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, seriously, for all of that, Guzgid only took 7 damage.
Okay.
Yeah,
Guzgid, maybe I have a little bit. Yeah, if you have any donations, it's up to you.
Huldra, what are you asking him for?
I'm asking him for a little bit of blood, so if we get attacked again, I will not be useless.
Well, exactly how much blood do you need?
No, I mean, we just killed like a giant horrid creature, now you're asking for blood? Oh.
Well, I can't, like...
And would my blood even work? Because I'm a dwarf, and, you know, we're
That's a
resistant
good
to
point.
magic.
Yeah, we're immune to magic.
Yeah, so...
But you do have blood. I can use blood to challenge my magic.
I'll give you some blood. I wasn't hurt at all.
Harvey
But
just
that's
likes
the thing.
questions asked.
MVP Harvey.
I mean, yeah, I can give you like a hit points worth of blood, I guess.
It's the right amount that you're comfortable with. So I guess like how much
We're doing a blood trade.
Yeah.
Like,
a little
as soon
blood
as you
back.
got up, Alice, Huldra turned into this blood dealer, like from the black market. Like,
Hey kid, wanna get some blood?
Okay, so how much damage would you like to take, basically?
maybe I'll give you 2 hit points of damage.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
As they're doing this, sorry, you go.
Sorry, no, this huge brood mother lays there. You see it sort of as if it's breathing once or twice before it fully just stops. You are left in this horrific scene. Nara, you hear Alia screaming your name, running towards you, like throwing her arms around you, just like, you stupid, but at the same time, like she just sort of doesn't say anything and just like wraps her arms around your neck and just like holds you very, very close. And Gooskid, you're caked.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
while you were away,
Yeah,
we started
we-
dousing me in water and cleaning me off. I also rinsed my mouth out very thoroughly.
Have you done the same to Trouble? Because Trouble's now looking just very happy with himself, stood by this dead brood mother, just like black all around,
I did
like jowls.
Yeah, you're very impressive.
Yeah, he
I'll
very
go.
much feels he did this. Like,
I'll go and get my water skin. It's like, alright, open your mouth.
and he does. He's there, like his mouth is open already, like this tongue is hanging out of it, and he just
Yeah, I'll
licks
wash-
you, and he
wash your mouth
laps
out.
it up. Like,
I washed the war paint off of his face too.
yeah, you sort of kneel down and you give him a proper, like scrub, like where these eyebrows are and these Groucho Marx like tashes on his face, and you give him a proper scrub, and he's loving it. Like you actually see his back leg go as you're really trying to scrub the paint off.
I'll give you a makeover later, I swear. And when I do that, I'd like to, once I finish that, I'd like to get up and I'd like to look at A, the dwarf that was killed, the one that was crazy, and 2, the 3 that were tied up.
Yeah,
Kinda
sure.
look over them.
Roll for me, and what is it you're looking for?
Honestly, I don't even know. I think it's more of a morbid curiosity kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to see these other 2. I'd like to see if they're awake, like if they're just unconscious, if they're alive at
Okay.
all, and the woman just to see if there's anything on her. Maybe if we encounter the Legion of the Dead, maybe there be something we can bring back or something.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, just perception.
Yeah, it's just a straight up perception.
Okay. 19.
Yeah. On a 19, you can look at this crazed dwarf, and his eyes are open. He lays there, just... He's gone. But his eyes are fully white. It's almost like the colour of his eyes have burst and speckled the eyes as they're just like... They look lost. They look crazed. He himself is caked in this black sort of blood.
Kind of cautiously close the eyes.
He looks like a member of the Legion of the Dead. He is wearing the uniform, very much the same as the other 3. You can see the arrow that Harbeck fired had sunk into one of the dwarfs, and she slumped over, dead. The other 2 are male dwarves, and they are also dead. Other than the armor of the Legion, there's not really anything on them.
Okay.
I feel like a dick for asking this.
You want the armor, don't you?
Yeah.
Listen.
Well, I
the
mean,
thought
look,
crossed
I'm
my
not
mind.
gonna stop you, but I'm just saying, like,
Look,
I mean, some of you steal armor, some of you steal dogs, or it's.
That
Look,
dog chose us.
everyone, I don't want you to judge me too hard for this, okay? But we're alive dwarves. And they're dead dwarves. And I'm wearing shitty cavalier armor that's been modified for a dwarf, and they've got real nice Dwarven Legion of the Dead armor.
No judgments, Gursgir, do your thing.
They're not gonna use it, and I also just asked for your blood, so I can't judge you for anything right now.
Oh, don't they have blood? You could have a shit ton of blood from them, couldn't you? You could have like these are two basically just big meat sacks now full of blood, right?
Look at Alice's face. Don't do it.
No, I wouldn't touch it. That's fine.
I need clean blood to.
Oh, do they have any weapons on them?
Let's just take everything
Like a sword,
They
maybe.
don't seem to have weapons itself, but you
Darn it.
imagine that somewhere. I mean, they would have had weapons.
I
So
think
they might.
since they're helping us out so much, though, they at least deserve a proper burial.
No, Gursgir, we don't have time to bury these people. I'm sorry. As much as your sense of honor is weirding me out because you just stripped these people of their armor, and now you want to wait to bury them, we gotta find Terrail now. We've already wasted enough time.
At least let us untie them and just let them be dead.
Yeah, we can.
Wait. Is there... Can I make
don't
some
like
kind
that.
of...
I don't like that look. No.
I just got a very twisted idea.
Oh.
Can I make some kind of, like, knowledge? I just gotta focus in arcane lore.
Mhm.
To know about, like, if the death of the Horde Mother is, like, significant to a Darkspawn Horde, or, like, because I'm thinking I want to chop off its head and take it with us.
You
Scare other creatures.
you know they effectively not respect it, but it is an image for them. But you also know there's more than one brood mother out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it
we
could
also
definitely be
we
a-
also would be covered in blood trying to cut this thing's head off.
And we might piss them off.
It doesn't really have a neck, so
That's
That's big an ass.
I want to take some kind of trophy from this thing,
Oh, yeah.
whether it's like the end of
has,
its spectacle
Hey,
or
take a
something.
tooth.
Yeah, take a tooth.
Take a tooth.
How big are-
Harvey's just collecting teeth right now. It's-
I mean, I
Blue.
might not have beheaded it, but I did take its cranium off. That's got to be around here somewhere. I just baseball swung it. Must be somewhere.
You can take
So we have
something.
time, not to be snarky, but we have time for this, but not time to give these Legion of the Dead a proper burial.
Yeah, look, Harvey, take something small. Gursgir to help me untie these people and at least lay them down and close their eyes.
Alice, I have a
I'm
question.
gonna patch myself up.
This armor, is it plate armor?
I'm trying to find it really quick.
There's,
I would imagine it would be plate armor.
is
I
it
would
light
say
plate
it's
or
plate.
heavy plate is the distinction?
I would say it's Legion of the Dead. I would say heavy.
One cheer for the one that needs like leather armor. They're dead. They're dead, these dwarves.
Arbeck, do you want some of this as well? This is fine quality armor.
Gursgir, I'm not touching that, but you do you.
Just make it quick.
Fair enough.
We
So
gotta
what
go.
does that give you in addition, Gizgid?
It means that I can now soak up 10 points of damage before taking any damage, but because I'm not trained in plate, it also means that all of my dexterity checks now have -5 applied to them.
Oof.
Is it worth it?
I can only move 6 feet and 6 yards anyway. This is
But
fine.
it's like you're just gonna
Yeah.
be crushed by a rock or something.
Yeah.
That's how Alice is gonna get you.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, you're gonna die the dumbest way.
Yeah.
Throw a nug at you.
This will be fine. This is the old trope, you guys. This has been around since like the 80s. You know, Hero Quest, all of that. Yeah, sure, you can find
Yeah,
Borin's
this is
armor,
a
but you
good
drop a
trope.
speed dice.
Hollow goes and push you.
I do a lot of damage, but I'm very easy to catch.
Do a lot of damage. All right, so Harbeck gets these people down, closes their eyes, pulls the arrow out of the one that he killed, puts it in his quiver, and then he is going to get Trouble back on the trail of that golem and trail, essentially.
Yeah, Trouble, like you're now out in this open and you can see this is almost like a big courtyard and another tunnel the other side, but this tunnel seems to go down deeper into the earth. And you can see Trouble sort of sniffing around and heading straight towards this tunnel effectively.
As soon as Gersgeard's in his Legion armor, which, by the way, I would love it if I were playing any other character, because it's the coolest armor in the world. Gosh darn it.
Guzgid is taking the time to give it a tertiary clean on the inside and make sure there's no like blood in there or anything.
Yeah, that's fine.
As soon as we're all ready to go, Harbeck is going to get everybody back in marching order, and then we're going to head down that tunnel.
Going forward, Nara's just next to Valia the whole time. Just kind of, she's very shaken
Alia's
by this.
sort of, again, she's holding on to Ariana, who, as walk past, finally gets a glance at the brood mother, and you could just see her eyes widen, just like, and just shakes her head and physically turns her head in the opposite direction.
She's so done.
Yeah, she's
Like, no,
no,
no, no.
gonna happen.
Gonna Nara my way out of here.
You follow this tunnel. You can no longer see the golem, but Trouble seems to have the scent. And you also notice that there are a few torches lit down here. The ground itself is clean. There's nothing on this ground. And you feel another big temperature drop as you get deeper and deeper into the earth. And as you get closer to the entrance, you hear clanging of metal against rock. Lots of it. You see the entrance again, or the exit, effectively. The end.
I am moving ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Hold on. I move forward with Harvey.
I waddle at the back.
I'm also in the back.
Clank, clank.
Very much so.
It's like having a penguin, like a heavily armored.
Wodunk.
Can you be a bit quiet?
No, I cannot. I wish I could. But don't worry, if anything comes close, it can hit me all day.
Yeah, I'm probably like 30 or more feet in front.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you were just strolling up ahead, and
Reach it.
Harbeck and Harvey, you managed to reach this exit of this tunnel, and you can easily look out and you hear that sound, that metal against stone getting louder and louder, and it opens up almost into this like huge, almost like a shaft that goes up, like a huge round, almost like a well. And you see around 30 to 40 dwarves hammering away at this red lyrium mine. You look at their eyes, they're red. They don't acknowledge you at all. You see some of them with carts, with barrels, filling it with red lyrium. And there's scaffolding that scales these walls all the way up to the top.
Do
Good.
I sorry?
Not good.
Do- Do I recognize if there is a magic with the red eyes and like the hypnotic thing going on with the?
This doesn't necessarily seem to be a hypnotic thing. This is infection.
Okay, so like
Some of them you can see, like, as they're with these pickaxes, they're sort of hammering into the stone. You see the backs of their hands almost marbled with this red lyrium.
Is there any like foreman in charge looking like overseeing the people hammering away, or it's just like
There's nothing here. It's almost if they don't need to be told. They're in a rhythm. And
Do we see that golem anywhere?
Can you make a perception check for me, please?
I so can.
All these dwarves seem to be from.
Ali is just, you can see Nara, if you look over, she's like rubbing her temple like, ow. Like, she doesn't seem to be losing it or anything, but she's like, it seems very intense here.
Yeah.
For her.
great
Put a hand
perception
on her
check.
shoulder.
We have lost the golem.
Very bad.
Do you want me to
Trouble?
yum forward? Do you want me to yum forward?
Yeah, Harbeck is like unable to keep an eye on anything in particular. He's sort of just lost by everything that he's looking at, and he sort of signals for Nara to come up.
Trouble is also sort of having a good sniff around, effectively. Oh, wow.
Oh, my boy.
Yeah, Trouble is not... He's sniffing around, but it's like the red lyrium is throwing him off. It's confusing him.
I just kind of put a hand on Ollie's shoulder, so we're gonna get that thing out of you, I promise. So we have to get out of here first.
And she just
And
nods and actually pulls her hood up just so that it's almost as if it's like a barrier. It's not, but in her head it is.
yeah. Yeah, and I'll step forward. Like,
Roll a
Alright.
perception check for me, please.
could I hear the golem's footsteps?
Yeah, roll for that.
Lit. 22.
Oh
Your
my god!
perception checks today. You hear a
Maybe.
creaking on the wood. You hear a creaking way up in the scaffolding. And you don't just hear this creaking. You hear shouting. You just hear, "Let me go!" Like, is this like there's something sort of and you look all the way up to the top of this, and you just see this other golem, a different one, very similar but just tweaked differently, and you can see Terrail like hammering against this golem's body as it is walking into another tunnel at the top of this scaffolding.
I think the moment that she walks in, she just kind of looks around and then points up.
Yeah, as soon as you like that, Trouble starts barking and running towards like the first ladder, and you can hear Terrell just sort of Trouble, like sort of disappearing into this tunnel. And I've just acknowledged Scrat's face as he's realised he's in very heavy armour. He's got
Well, we better get him! And Kiskid's gonna start running his total dash speed of 8 yards.
Can I get you a ladder? No, I'm dead.
Yeah, we need to get him a ladder.
Yeah,
Do
the
we have
roads can
a-
go ahead because if we dash, we have like 20-something speed.
Yeah, do we have a clear path?
Yeah,
Up
there's
to this tunnel,
it's,
like, there's
apart
no-
from moving around these dwarves,
And they don't seem to
Oh.
notice us?
they see you. They
Yeah.
do jump you. They're
Okay,
all
yeah, then we
mindless.
sprint. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, like, just bolt for
Yeah, can-
Terrail.
You easily climb the first few levels, and then you get to a bit further up. I need you all to make a dex check.
Oh,
Does that include Kiskid? Because he's like 40 feet behind everyone at this point.
By the time you get there, you're gonna need to make that check.
Okay.
I have really bad dexterity. Please save me. No. I put it in the wrong chat as well.
Do you have bad dexterity, Aldra? Do you?
You have had the.
Oh,
Yeah, you see them all sort of hop ahead. Huldra probably at the back as you go. But Guzkid, as you climb one of the ladders, it's like you just can't quite realize how heavy it is, and it moves, and you fall back. Like you just go back and this ladder crashes.
Let's just go back.
You-
Oh, hell.
You fall through one of the levels. This doesn't hurt because of the armor. You crash through one of the levels and land on the plane. You feel that physical like jolt. There are many ladders. You can get back up.
While Gersgeard is laying in the rubble of the scaffold and the ladder, you just see Harbeck's head poke over and he just says, "Hey, can I get you a ladder?"
You can see Holdrak go.
Can you get off my back?
So you can get off your back.
So you can get off your back.
Holdrak's really
Imagine
not.
like a turtle.
Holdrak's doing her best not to laugh, but you can see her cheeks like.
Yeah, you hear a snort from Nara. Not malicious in any way, but
This is so funny just because it's your
definitely
catchphrase.
mocking.
Yeah.
I think Nara's gonna not too far ahead, but she's gonna dart forward as much as she can, just so they don't lose track of this.
Yeah, no, you can get up higher and higher, and as you get up, you all reach this tunnel.
She's puckering.
Gizgid behind, but definitely on his way up. Probably knackered right now. You're probably out of breath, Gizgid. You're carrying a lot of weight just to go up.
I like to think that this wasn't planned.
Yeah.
There's like heavy armor. Oh, I know what to do.
As if you think the heavy armor wasn't a plant by Alice anyway.
And Trouble is barking madly, and you can hear in the distance, almost echoing down this tunnel, you hear Terrell's voice just yelling for trouble. And as you approach this tunnel, one of the dwarves stop and they look at you. They just stop and they look. You see those red eyes, but this person doesn't seem as affected by everyone, like as everyone else, almost like maybe he's at the early stages of this infection, and he looks over to you. There's almost not a sad look on his face, but just a very plain look. Is it the elf boy, friend of yours?
Yes.
And he sort of goes back and starts hacking at this big lyrium shard that you see sort of engulfs in this rock. And then he pauses again. Run faster. It grows quicker in elves. And then he goes back to mining again.
Harbeck is booking it.
You can run. Trouble's already taken off down this tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Running.
Has a glance back at Alia, but then she'll stay behind you guys, try and keeping a middle distance.
Alia is sprinting as well, almost like she's got Ariana, but there's like this newfound energy that
Yeah,
she's.
I'll come in and help.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, I'll come in and help on the other side of Ariana, so we can. get
Ariana
faster.
is doing like a light jog. It's almost like a limp. But she's trying to keep up. You can hear her breathing heavily, but she has got her sword out and she is running to keep up with all of you as you tear along this tunnel towards the golem. And you reach the other side into this cavern full of stalactites and stalagmites. There is like a pool at the center. But every single one of these stalactites and stalagmites are red. It's almost created just these shards that are either shot from the ceiling or from the ground. And you see this golem walking, Terrail slung over its shoulder. And he looks as you come bursting through this tunnel, because this golem isn't running. He looks up and sees you all. You see these very scared, childlike 7-year-old eyes. And he has blood running down the side of his forehead. It looks like it's dry. And he's covered in dirt. And he sees you all, and he just starts, like, his hands stop, like, fighting at the golem. And they start almost just, like, reaching out for all of you, and he just yells each one of your names.
Terrail. Hey! And Harbeck just sort of like keeps running. He's got his shield up and his maul, and he says, "Hey, you stone bastard! I'm talking to you."
Very slowly, the golem's footsteps come to a stop. And it just turns. It's almost like you can hear stone grind against stone. Sorry, my cat's trying to get my book. And it's...
Tasty.
It stands and it looks at you. It doesn't attack. It just looks at you.
Put him down.
As it stops, I'm still running forward towards it. And trying... Is there like... It's just the stalactites and stalagmites. There's nothing like ledgy, any kind of platform. The rocks.
Some like there are rocks that aren't lyrium. There are actual like rocks, almost like boulders with like sheer edges. You can definitely do that.
Well, if the golem doesn't keep moving as I get closer to it, I'm gonna try to like climb up near it and around it to try and reach Terrail.
Yeah, you can. In fact, as you look at this. As you come towards it, you see the light that was sort of coming from in between the rocks and this golem, and its eyes, they're white, like a blinding white. And they start to dull.
Okay.
I've got a boat, like an arrow knocked and it's out. I'm just kind of like sidestepping towards the golem, I guess.
Harbeck slings his shield on his back and his sheath for his maul, I guess. I don't know what you put them all in.
A bucket? I don't know.
A bucket. My maul bucket. And he takes the pouch out that has the cube in it, and he opens it in his hand and he holds it out and he says, "Is this what you're looking for? This what you want?"
As you hold it out, the cube itself, in between all the cracks, glows a white itself. And the golem, it's like it shuts down. It freezes. It stops.
As soon as it stops moving, Harbeck just says, "Harvey, now."
Yeah, I'm reaching out. I'm trying to get Terrail.
Yeah, you can easily take it off. Like, he moves a little bit and he's reaching out with like his arms as he grabs you around the shoulder, and like he sort of like koala bears around you as you sort of pick him up and take him, and you just hear him just go, "Harvey, Harvey," like as he sort of clings to you very tightly, and he's not crying. You can see like where his face has been dirty and he has cried, like you can see streaks through it, and you see blood on his, like in his clothes, on his shoulder. You see it like down like the side of his head, again all dry.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably guess this is where it grabbed him, and he's fought back for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm squeezing him super tight. I'm rubbing him like, "It's okay, baby, we got you now. You fought so hard. You were so strong. We're so proud of you." And I'm gonna wet some cloth from my water skin and start cleaning him up.
Yeah, this golem is frozen. It's like literally frozen in place.
Harbeck approaches it with the cube out, and he looks at the cube. Are there any similarities in design between the two? Like any symbols or anything?
Only the dwarven-esque sort of feel of it all. It's more that side of it. It doesn't look exactly like the cube, but you do see the similarity almost in the sort of the rock sort of side of it.
I've still got an arrow knocked, and she just kind of murmurs, like, "Is it just me, or did this part seem a little too easy?"
Yeah.
It's definitely
Where
it wants us. I mean, that's for sure.
I don't trust this.
we need to
Can I
find
listen?
exits.
Can I listen out to see if anyone else is here? Just because
Yeah,
I think no.
You can easily look around. There doesn't seem to be anyone here. It's almost like this golem was on a one track. He was literally just walking, and you can see another tunnel at the other end. And it's more the further you go, the more red lyrium there is.
I mean, we don't want to keep going the way that the golem was going, do we?
But do we want to go back?
Back.
Definitely don't want to go back.
Through the fade.
Isn't there another way?
Did that shaft that we were in, does that keep going up? Like towards some? No, it's just we're at the top of it.
It's just you're at the top of it.
Okay.
Was
This
there
is
any
a
like
tunnel.
was there any like door or something in that city that we were in, like in Kal'Sharok? Like, is there a door to the outside at
There
all
were
there, or is it
buildings.
just like a one way?
It's more of a one-way sort of thing, but you can turn around if you want to go back. In this, you seem to be in a mining system, but as I said, the red lyrium gets denser and denser as you get in.
As everyone is sort of talking amongst themselves, Harbeck is just staring at this thing. The light coming out of the cube now, you said was like the same light that was in its eyes?
Yeah, it was like this white light.
Harbeck's gonna look at the cube and then he's gonna look at the golem. He's gonna say, "Wake up."
This golem wakes up.
What the fuck?
He says, kind of just to himself, like, "I don't know what you are or how you're tied to all of this." And he looks past the golem to where all the red lyrium is. And he says, and then he looks back at Harvey and everyone else, and he says, "Whatever's doing this, mage that they were talking about, whatever's in my head, it's forward through these tunnels. It's at the heart of all this. And I'm gonna smash through it. If y'all want to leave, I wouldn't blame you." And then he's just going to look at the golem and he's going to point down the tunnel and he's going to say, "Make me a path."
This golem turns and walks. And it just starts to walk through this tunnel. It says no words. It's more like a machine, I guess, than anything.
Harbeck looks at, he puts the cube in his, back in the pouch that it was in, and he turns around and he goes to where Terrail is, and he kneels. Well, I guess he doesn't need to kneel because they're like the same height. But he looks at him and he smiles and he says, "How you doing, kid?"
At that, he lets go of Harvey and switches, sort of. Like, he just turns around and puts his arms around your neck, and Trouble comes up and just starts licking, like, both of you across the face. But both at, like, the same level.
Okay, all right, okay, yeah.
Terrail sort of manages a fairly feeble laugh, but you can see him, he sort of, like, wipes his eyes as he sort of pushes the dirt from his face, where, like, but you can see how Harvey has cleaned, basically, in a very grandmotherly way, everything. Like,
yeah.
If anything, he's wiping off just some of the water. But you can see blood matted in his hair, and you can see a cut down the side. And he sort of murmurs, you can hear him murmuring into your shoulder, just sort of like, "I'm sorry."
Hey, you don't need to apologize for anything. I'm super proud of you.
And he goes even quieter, and you sort of have to tilt your head to hear him. He's like, "I lost Nara's dagger."
That's okay. Something tells me she's got plenty more.
He did what?
You
he,
physically feel him like sigh and relax. It's almost like if that was more the thing he was worried about, that he's lost what someone has given to
When
him.
Nara's hearing, would she hear this at all?
Probably you'd hear him murmuring. You wouldn't necessarily hear exactly what, because he's trying to be really quiet.
That would have been so funny.
Harbeck kind of laughs and he's like, "Yeah, I think it'll be all right." And they're about the same height, but Harbeck's just ridiculously stronger than him.
He's kind of weedy, like this is
yeah.
a weedy kid.
So he picks him up and he puts him on Trouble. And he says, "All right, I can't really bring you in good conscience into what I'm about to do." And he turns and he looks at the tunnel and he says, "All right. This is the path I've been on since I woke up in the deep roads. This is where I've been led to willingly for a while, a little bit less so now, but I'm going in there, and none of you have to follow me." And Harbeck looks over the team and he kind of just gives everyone like a nod, and then he slings his shield back down, the cube glowing in the bag at his hip, and he takes his maul and he just starts following the golem through this tunnel.
Huldra walks next to him.
I look at Terrell again and I say, "Listen, I don't ever want to leave you behind again, so I'm gonna let you decide this time. Do you want to come with us, or do you want me to take you out of here?"
He smiles slightly. Again, you can see where he's hit, and then he winces. It looks like something's like definitely split his lip. And he sort of nods to you, almost lays down on Trouble, and sort of gives him like that pat, that hug, and whispers something in Trouble's ear, and Trouble starts to pad after the rest of them.
I'll give him a nice pat on the back. And then I basically have my arm around him for a little bit as we start taking a few steps following Harbeck.
Yeah. He sort of wraps his arm around you as well as you sort of walk forward.
Oh, this is warming her heart so much.
Alia steps forward. Ariana sort of now standing on her own. And Alia looks to Nara and puts her hand. I was like, "Ready?"
And Nara will nod and clasp her hand, as I'll ever be.
"Oh God, I hope we don't die." And she just sort of starts walking and sort of walking after.
Yeah, Nara laughs.
Way at the back, you see an axe come over the ladder.
Finally.
Good Gear heaves himself up onto the platform.
I think at that, Nara will look at Alia.
He's just now getting here.
Nara will look at Alia. It's like, "1 second," and I'm gonna go to Guzkid and offer a hand.
I don't need a hand, I'm here now.
I don't need a hand, I need a ladder! So you can get off my back!
He wheezes.
And with no idea what's going on, Guzkid just takes up the rear of the party.
Come on, we're going to our death.
Ariana sort of gives you, like, Guzkid a slap on the back. She's like, "You're as slow as me now." And sort of gestures over to where the others are going. Sword out. Shield up. And you will start walking through this tunnel.
Takes Alia's hand again. It's like, "Well, I tried."
You'll never win with that one.
Harbeck looks up at Huldra as she starts walking beside him, and he says, "You probably, you might have done a little bit better in the chains up there, to be honest. I don't know if we actually did you a favor."
Well, I'm here. I'm alive. We were a pretty good team. I wouldn't have been able to defeat any of the enemies or come this far without you.
Yeah, I think that's same goes for me. I think despite everything, I think we might actually have a chance at this. And Harbeck just kind of looks at like essentially what is now just like a tunnel of red lyrium that they're walking through behind this giant golem. Hopefully.
You know what? For the first time in quite a while, I'm quite positive that we'll make it.
Yep. I don't know. I hope whatever we do here helps out there.
I believe so. That's why I followed you here. And also to save Chirail, but...
Well, sure, yeah. No,
Yeah.
the kid's important.
Sure.
And
Chirail is a strong big boy. I'm sure he would have handled the situation great.
I imagine...
He hears this.
I was gonna say...
And both, like, Terrail is sitting a little bit more upright on this Mabari, who is also feeling pretty pleased with himself after he thinks he killed a brood mother. So this sort of scene of these two sort of... Terrail looking very battered, but this doesn't seem to be stopping him in any way. As he sort of doesn't ride next to Huldra and Harbeck, he's sort of just behind.
Can I see that he doesn't have the dagger anymore?
Yeah, he's literally just in his chainmail.
Yeah, I'd like
Nothing
to walk up.
else.
I'd like to walk up to him and to be like, it's not as good, but, and she's gonna take out that very fancy Elysian dagger and just kind of put it in its sheath, hold it out to him. I'm not gonna let you go in there without something.
He looks a bit sheepish as he suddenly realizes he doesn't have it, but he
she's kind of not much gets past me.
And he sort of takes it and again holds onto it with two hands. It's just like, I won't lose this one.
Trust
I
you,
promise.
mate. And when we get out of here, maybe we can show you how to use this properly. And she gestures to the bow that she's got slung across the shoulder. And she'll
I'd like that.
and she'll go back to Alia and just kind of take her hand. She's like, I have hope that we're going to get out of this just fine. But just in case we don't, and I don't get another chance, I love you. You know that, right?
And she sort of squeezes your hand, looks at you and smiles. A proper smile, probably one you haven't seen for quite a while. And she pulls your forehead to her and just kisses it and stays there for a second. It's very simple. You can see here like her voice break a tiny bit, but she's happy. You will walk through this, the golem lighting your way almost. As Harbeck, you have this cube out, it shines brighter, and the brighter it shines, the brighter this golem shines. As you head down this tunnel. And you walk for a bit. It doesn't seem to be... There's no sound. You're undisturbed. And as you walk, you come to an exit. You see this exit. It opens up almost into a chamber. A chamber with a mosaic-esque floor. Both dwarven and elven patterns adorn it. All along, as you take a step, as soon as your foot takes a step onto this mosaic floor, the whole room lights up. All these statues, a mixture of elves and dwarves, hands out, these stone mixed with metal plates held, and a green flame lights up in all of these dishes. You see steps down into what looks like a flooded area. On the other side, up some more steps, like another platform, you see a huge statue. A huge statue of a wolf. Venharal. Seated. Overgrown. There's no red lyrium here. Nothing touches it. And on this platform, you see 6 Grey Wardens. All stood next to each other. You look up at this ceiling. More green fire lights up, revealing just how high this ceiling goes. Intricate carved designs, both dwarven and elven, again mixing and mingling, twisting together. These Grey Wardens seem to be chanting, almost. You can't see their faces as they all sort of face each other, 3 either side, 3 in a row. There is someone with their back to you. A mage, you can tell, with their back turned. You see the staff on their back. Turns round. Looks over at you all as you see this energy swirling around them. And it looks directly at all of you and smiles, this woman. And she walks through the Grey Wardens. And as the Grey Wardens part, you see that there is another woman at the center, kneeling down, almost in a praying sort of stance, but she's holding her head, facing away from you. And then you realize these Grey Wardens also have their hands held out, this energy swirling around them. So this other mage walks forward, holds out their hand. I'd like my cube back now, please. And that is where we'll leave Dragon Age, the penultimate episode this week.
Oh, Becca's just freaking out.
Like, no. My cube.
My cube.
Oh
I
my
didn't see a
god.
name on it.
So good.
Oh my god.
Man.
So many emotions.
Oh my
You have no idea.
So much
my God.
fatigue.
I will hand back over. I want to go, you guys.
And then goes to clunk, 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 clunk.
Yes,
clunk,
And then
just cut
yeah,
driving.
Right.
Oh, thank God, magic! At least we're resistant to that.
I'm waiting for this game to get blasted with like a fireball or something and for it to hurt.
Hasn't happened yet.
Alex, you know what to do.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. We're going to head over to the Discord where we'll talk about all our favourite moments and everything. We're going to go across to our credits reel and then go on a raid. I'm not sure if I've seen any raid cries, but hang on, there was a quote from earlier that we can definitely use.
Can I get you a ladder?
Well, I was going to go for the you squelched and you slapped it. Although actually thinking about it, that might not have the best connotations if we go into another stream. Maybe we'll stick with "Can I get you a ladder?"
No, it was much better.
It was, but you know, I'm not sure what.
Blue-riddled
Let's be
brains.
polite. Let's not.
We're not going to be
Oh,
raiding someone
Jonah.
particularly familiar, so I don't want to, you know. Tee.
Flu brain and very tired brain does not work well with vocabulary with me.
Oh my goodness.
There we go. So there's the raid cry in chat there. Also, please take a moment to check out all of our links. Not Coles, close. All of our social links are there. All of the way places you can come and support us. Sponsor links. Big thank you to Bird and the Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press who make this all possible. And there's also some websites there where you can get 10 to 15% discount using our special codes. Until next time, everyone, keep on evoking emotions. We'll see you in the Discord. Bye.
Bye!